Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are reviewing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 17. Honey, I don't even know how we made it to 17 episodes. Listen, I'm just so happy that it's going to be over next week. Child, we don't even need a reunion. Honey, y'all can just tweet us. We don't even need a reunion, child. We don't need nothing else after this. I don't know what's going on, child. I need to just call it Tyler Perry's Saints and Sinners, because we went from the pits of hell with Bolo. Now we're in the pulpit with Pastor Lot or Prophet Lot or whatever, child. Let's get into it. Anywho, if you're here for the first time, sorry, I was rude, guys. If you're here for the first time, then welcome. If you're back for a second or third time, you already know how I do, and thank you so much for joining me again. All right, let's get into it if we're going to get into it. Okay, so the episode picks up where it left off. We back over here at Blaze. Candy thanking them for coming, because Todd and Candy gonna have a tasting if they don't do nothing else. They go in to taste the food, and then Shamia gives the ladies some masks. Marlo tries to apologize to Porsha, but of course, Porsha acted like Marlo was Casper the Friendly Ghost and paid her dust. Okay, act like she ain't even here, honey. So Kenya pulls Candy outside because she want to talk to her about Mark being there for Brooklyn's birthday party. But, honey, Cynthia just came over and invited her own self over, honey. She was like, what y'all doing over here? Baby, Cynthia said, y'all ain't going to leave me out, honey. Don't leave me over here with these heifers. Sean, she probably was thinking, why Kenya didn't call me? Just sit on down, 50 Cent, and hear what's going on, child. So Kenya lets them know that Mark had already landed and that she doesn't know what she's going to do now that he's here, if he's going to stay at a hotel, if he's going to stay with her. And so then Candy was like, do you want to just get custody or do you want a divorce? And Kenya was like, well, I don't know. I'm just scared. Here go Candy. What you scared of? Candy's so dry. Baby, Candy was like, scared of what, honey? He been gone for 2 quarantines. We're in the second year of quarantine. He ain't been around there to Moore Manor since quarantine started, honey, since last season when he was acting a fool at his event. That's the last time you saw him step foot over that threshold. So it's time to let it go, Kenya. Now, I understand, honey. I have empathy for people who are married because you don't know the struggle until you've been through the struggle. Kenya says she wants to make sure she's done all that she can do before she lets it go, honey. I understand that. But at the same time, Kenya, he's not giving anything. You haven't even lived under the same roof over half of your marriage. So it's just time to just cut ties, okay? Just let it go. Candy in her confessional says, you know what? I think it's just time for Kenya to cut her losses and move forward. And I mean, I'm just gonna have to agree, honey. I mean, you're just gonna have to pull the plug. Meanwhile, Aunt Nora over here feeling on Ralph, child, because she looking at that floral print shirt he wearing and thinking to herself, yeah, that shirt right there, that's from my era right there. That's what we used to wear in my day. Ralph, honey, your shirt is very reminiscent of the 60s and or 70s, honey, giving Aunt Nora flashbacks. Drew, you ain't paying no attention. You over there sitting there with your fedora and your outfit or whatever it is you wearing, honey, not understanding this is probably the person he was down in Tampa with. No, I'm just playing, y'all. Y'all know I'm crazy. Anyway, so the food comes out, and baby, that food looks good. And I was looking at that food. I said, yes, Candy, because y'all know I plan my trips around what I'm going to eat. So I was thinking I got to take a special trip down to Atlanta to go down to Blaze, honey, because that food was looking like something. I hope y'all have that fried apple pie on the menu every day, because I loves me some fried apple pie. Just a side note. Cynthia starts talking to the girls about the pop-up shop. Marlo says that she made an ass out of herself, and she's sorry to Porsha. And she said, Porsha said, oh, yeah, I was meaning to ask you, how was your back? And then Marlo said, well, I have a brace on from when the boys jumped on me. So then she was like, yeah, from when they jumped on you before we went on the trip. So Marlo was like, yeah, before we went on the trip, I was going to get lipo, but I had to postpone it. Here comes Shamia, honey, because she couldn't wait. This was her time to shine. Shamia says, but you already had lipo, right? And Marlo said, no, I had lipo 2 or 3 times, but my back. And she was like, before you came to the trip or after? Child, Marlo was so confused. Marlo, you're lying, honey. I knew someone right when you said the boys jumped on your back and you had to lay down. At first, I thought it was because you didn't want to be around these heifers. But it's looking like you may have had a little work done and you had to lay it on down, and get yourself some rest. And that's okay. You probably had it like a week before or a few days before or whatever, and you want to get yourself some rest. But my thing is this. You went in on Porsha because you felt like she was a liar and she felt like she wasn't a friend, okay? And she didn't tell you information that you needed to know. And so that's the reason why you don't F with her. That was your point, okay? But if you're lying about getting lipo and you didn't say nothing to her or mention it to her, then you just as bad as she is. Child, y'all all crazy. Anyway, so Marlo said, Nora, why they mad? Why you always asking people at the table? You asked Big Frida, honey, and now you asking Nora. Leave these people out of it, child. They don't want nothing to do with that. All this mess y'all got going on, child. Oh, Marlo just need a friend, honey. Nene, where are you, child? Anyway, so then Marlo was like, you know what? I'm trying to be cool. I'm trying not to say what I really know. And then they play this audio of Candy. Candy, your mic is on. Honey, your mic is hot. You do this every time. You did the same mess at Cynthia Seagram event when y'all were lying about how Kenya got there. Then you went and sat with Don Juan talking about the Bolo thing, knowing that you were insinuating that it was Candy and Porsha, allegedly. Now we hear you saying, well, you know, I know who was effing Bolo. So that's just basically letting us know that it was Porsha, allegedly, who was having sex with Bolo. Candy, you kind of messy boots this season, honey. Messy boots. Honey, Kenya's over there talking to the doctor about having a breast reduction. And Cynthia and Mike are weighing themselves, honey, with this little lion scale they got. So they bring the scale down, and then Cynthia gets on, and now she's 195 pounds. But for Cynthia's height, I mean, it ain't big. But Cynthia, you gonna have to reel it in, honey. Stay away from all them tastings, because Candy, child, she gonna make y'all eat, and then she gonna go work out, and then she gonna be fine. You can't do that, honey. At a particular age, that weight don't want to come off. It don't want to budge. And child, 50 Cent turning more into Notorious B.I.G. Child, get yourself together. Drew starts, then we go over to Ralph and Drew. They're working out, you know, doing a little something, and then they convene in the kitchen. So Drew starts talking about her baby blessing. Drew's assistant apparently introduced LaToya after the niece party. Oh my goodness, just even explaining this. This season is all over the place. I'm so sick of it. Oh, Lord, let me just go through it. Drew, let me just say this up front. You're wrong, okay? I really hate to agree with LaToya. And LaToya, you looked great this episode. This is one thing about me on this channel. I'm not biased. I'm going to say what it is. I'm going to speak my speech. I'm going to tell my truth. I'm going to give you my opinion. LaToya was right in this scenario, and Drew was wrong. And that's just the bottom line. Drew starts talking about her assistant introduced LaToya to Prophet LOTT. First of all, the name of it sounds like something that's not right. Sounds a little sketch, Prophet LOTT. Apparently, the prophet was prophesying some loving over LaToya, okay? Drew claims that LaToya is praying on this grown man, and he can't do the blessing. Girl, your mama can't do it, honey. Y'all done sent her down to the shy. She back in the shy, honey. Go, child, call your mama, have her and her dreads come down here, touch and agree over your baby, bless the baby, throw a little water on him, and say amen, and go on about your business, girl. He ain't the only prophet in town. Child, Atlanta got a church on every corner. Girl, you just saying anything. Apparently, this man has a fiance and a baby, and LaToya broke them up. She's like wrecking homes, and she has a man at home at the same time, honey, and allegedly, Adam alluded to the same thing over on his channel. That's LaToya's ex-husband. So if y'all want to go check that out, feel free. It's just a side note. 50 Cent, over there we see 50 Cent setting up her black-owned business and the little pop-up shop, which is very reminiscent of Phaedra's pop-up shop in season 7. Y'all remember when Phaedra did the pop-up shop for the kids to get clean water in Flint? For them to go on the little, go to the little camping in the summer when her and Kenya were friends for like a half a season? Yeah, that season. Marlo gets there to support, honey. She's buying things from everybody. She buys a sweatshirt from Don Juan because, he got his little t-shirts and mask and whatnot. Then she goes over to Porsha. She's like, Porsha, let me get a king size sheet set. Porsha said, oh, okay, well, let me get the discount code. I don't need no discount code. I said, I know, that's right. Marlo say, I'm going to pay full price, baby. I don't need your discount, honey. That's how you shade them, honey. Anyway, so then Porsha said, well, that was weird. Porsha, that's not weird, honey. What's weird is Marlo don't know if she want to be friends with you or Kenya. That part is weird. And but I think she was genuinely just trying to support, honey. She don't want y'all talking about her behind her back saying, Marlo didn't buy nothing from me. She cheap and this and that, honey. She know how y'all do. So she just wanted to make sure she bought something from everybody. After that, Drew starts telling Candy, because Candy done came in her Don Juan original, honey. She had on a sweatshirt. Candy looked like she was finna go run a few errands. She comes in and Drew starts telling her about the blessing. And Candy was like, how you having some drama with a blessing mixed together, honey? That don't make no sense. I'm like, it sure don't. Candy is not playing this season, honey. She gonna tell y'all exactly how she feel, okay? She done got that little speak on it, and now she is really speaking on it, okay? So anyway, she comes in and Drew starts telling her about the prophet and how LaToya is praying, and now apparently they're together. Drew said the man had a fiance and a baby, and the reason that she didn't come to Candy's soft opening is because Drew found out. Drew, honey, that's a reach. You're reaching. This is my thing. LaToya does not seem like the type that would be afraid of Drew. She bust up on the scene talking about you and your wig and how your wig needed to be in a cage because it was an animal or a chia pet or whatever it is that she said it was, honey. So I'm not thinking that she found out that you thought you knew something about Pastor LOTT or Prophet LOTT and she decided not to come. I don't think that's true. Drew, you just started mess, honey. Mess. Anyway, LaToya arrives unbothered. Now they don't even speak to the girls. Goes over there and starts getting herself a massage. Candy wastes no time, honey. She goes over there and she's like, I heard you got a new boyfriend. LaToya, of course, denied. Tanya, pay attention. They go over to the Bailey wine cellar so they can talk. Shamia gonna say, when LaToya got her drink, oh, you drinking again? LaToya said, yeah. Shamia, sit back, girl. Sit back, girl. Sit back, honey. Girl, hush. Anyway, so after they do that, then she goes over there and they're talking. And so Porsha was like, well, where were you at the opening talking to LaToya? And so Candy was like, yeah, Drew said she wasn't coming because she found out about you and some prophet. Drew said, yeah, Cynthia also said that you met a man from Texas and Pastor LOTT is from Texas. Prophet LOTT, keep calling that man Pastor LOTT, honey. Prophet LOTT is from Texas. I'm like, okay, child. Anyway, so LaToya was like, is that the only person in Texas? I mean, I'm trying to figure out, Candy, how's my Texas accent? First of all, LaToya, don't try it, honey. Don't try me. Yes, we talk with a little twang. Yes, we got a little southern slang to us, honey. We walk with a dip. But that ain't got nothing to do with you acting like we ride cows down the highway. Honey, we do not ride horses to work. We do not park our stables in the back. We do not milk cows before school, honey. We are the 4th largest city. Texas does have country parts as well as Georgia, honey. Georgia, honey, let's not get it twisted. Georgia is just as country as Texas. Girl, trying to do a little accent, honey. Now, don't get crazy. Anywho, y'all, she brought me out of character. So we see LaToya tell her, you don't know what you're talking about. I was in a 6-week program. Then all of a sudden it turned to a 4-week program. Child, some programming was being done. Okay. Drew says, well, he had to pull out because of all the drama. So LaToya is praying on the prophet. Girl, LaToya ain't praying on that fake prophet. That grown man is doing this himself. He's making his own decisions. Doesn't it seem like he's praying on LaToya? Doesn't that make more sense? You're saying she's using her feminine wiles to woo this pastor and breaking up his entire family. Girl, anyway, they start fussing. Drew is going on and on and on. And then LaToya decides to leave, honey. She says she's going to find her another prophet on prophet.com. I know. Just like she did, okay? Just like she did in New Orleans, she got up and left. Y'all, please don't let Drew do nothing for y'all. Don't let her do nothing for y'all, because this is the thing. Drew gonna use it against you in the court of law. She gonna wait right till she get to a table full of women and y'all get ready to sit down and eat and or break bread, and she's going to bring it up. Drew, that is ridiculous, okay? The girls meet up at Kenya's house. No food involved, just drinks. Honey, Kenya is a terrible host. A terrible host. First South Carolina, now this. And don't y'all forget about that terrible housewarming where everybody had titty sweat, honey. It takes Sheree to tell that story. Ooh, child. I guess Kenya said, honey, you heifers want to see these boobs. I didn't invite y'all over for no get together. Y'all said y'all want to see them and y'all here. Marlo ends up ordering some pizza and wings, but then Marlo said, Kenya needs some food stamps, honey. They giving them to everybody during COVID, honey. She can get her EBT. Marlo, let me find out you over there feeding them Monty with that EBT card, getting lobster, steak, and shrimp, honey, and SpaghettiOs. Let me find out, because I know you over there feeding them boys real good. Kenya tells the girls that she got a breast reduction, and so they're all sitting around talking about that, and she's like, they're like, well, how is it now? She said, it's cool, but I can't motorboat. Here goes Cynthia. What's motorboating? Child, I learned what motorboating was in the 6th grade, honey. It might have been kindergarten. Motorboating, Cynthia, really? Child, Peter was right about you, child. You ain't hitting on nothing in bed. Child, I already know. You ain't hitting on nothing, honey. You laying there missionary style, and that's all she wrote. So LaToya goes over and motorboats Cynthia, so she's not confused, because she says she's confusing motorboating and teabagging, honey. Two different areas of your body, two different things, child. Goodbye. Kenya reads this text from Mark and claims her DMs were popping because they started saying, we saw him at the birthday. So, I mean, were you blowing out any other candles? Child, Mark ain't touched Kenya, and Kenya ain't touched Mark. But she was in different spirits, so she might have got a little taste of something, honey. A man will sleep with anything. Whether they like you or not, they will sleep with you. So she might have got touched, allegedly. Anyway, so they started talking, and then Kenya was like, well, tell me what happened at the pop-up. So they started telling Kenya about the fake prophet and LaToya. So then LaToya calls this prophet. Now, what grown man? What prophet? Now, a prophet is a man of the cloth. What grown pastoral man is going to get on the phone and start gossiping with a bunch of women? So they start passing the phone around, and they asked if he was supposed to do the blessing. He said there was some drama and he was supposed to do it, but they never reached out to him again. And so then I was confused because he said they never reached out to him again. In the same breath, he said that Danny, who was the assistant, was intimidated by him and LaToya's friendship. And I'm like, why would he be intimidated? Are y'all two together? Honey, I'm just saying, I mean, I may be wrong, honey. Y'all can put down in the comments, but I picked up on that. And I was just like, why would this man be intimidated about you laying it down with another woman? Like, okay. I mean, it is Atlanta. So I was just trying to figure out what was all doing and why would he be upset. So this is what I feel. And we're going to wrap this on up because I don't want to hold y'all too long. I feel like Danny was in his feelings because he might like Prophet Lot in a way other than him being the prophet. Danny was in his feelings, felt some kind of way, started lying, and made up this whole story. It was a plot and a scheme that Danny came to Drew with the bullshit, okay? So he came to her and made up this whole lie about LaToya being in a relationship with Prophet Lot. And then Drew got in her feelings because anything sets her off when it comes to LaToya. LaToya, you should have never said nothing about this wig because Drew is one of those people that will not let it go, okay? So that is what happened. Danny is the culprit in all of this. He made up the lie and Drew ran with it and started telling all the other girls. That's what happened. And then they started asking, well, do you have a fiance? And he said, well, that was 3 years ago. And they didn't ask about the baby. I don't care about the baby. Then they asked, where was Ralph and was he in Tampa with you? Child, that might have been who he was in Tampa with, hanging out. Child, ain't no telling what's going on. I'm so confused. The storyline is everywhere. I'm done. I'm so happy that this season is about to be over. Then Cynthia busts out and says, prophets don't lie, do they? The one in Gucci on his FaceTime does, honey. I'm just going to say it like that. I feel like he lied. Danny lied on him. He lying. Somebody lying. And that's all I got. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening, honey. I tried. I mean, it's just not much I can give you. But the bottom line is Candy is the bone carrier. Drew is not afraid to start some mess no matter where she is. LaToya is over it, honey. She gets up and walks away. And Kenya is still hanging on to Mark. Cynthia doesn't know what motorboating is. Somebody please get her some Kama Sutra books and send them over her way. And that's all I got. Thank you guys so much for listening and or watching. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.